Okay, well, my name is Wyatt, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys my testimony tonight. And my testimony is, well, it's a cool testimony as far as it's action-packed. It's full of, great things that make testimonies cool, like prison and drugs. And, what's not cool about prison and drugs, right? When we're talking about testimony. But the problem with that is actually having to go through it. And so my testimony is like, it's an attention grabber, and it's one that, people are like, wow, well, that's great, you know what I mean? But really what my testimony is really all about is about the transformation in my life. And that was only brought about by God. And, I see evidence of that just in like the little things, probably what other people don't notice, but like tonight, even when I was standing over there by the door and some people were coming in, just people smiling at me and taking me in warmly and stuff like that. You have to understand that I'm getting used to it now because I've been at Shasta Bible College I'll be a senior at the end of the semester. But stuff like that still strikes me as unusual because of my past life and what it used to be like. But, I grew up, I come from an upper middle class family. My sister's 13 months older than me, and she's a paramedic. She owns her own house. The reason why I tell you these things is because I wasn't a product of my environment, as it were. Sentence enhancer. I wasn't a product of my environment. I just went left when I should have went right. You know what I mean? And as a result, I found myself, I ended up fathering two children in my addiction. I was addicted to methamphetamines. And I ended up fathering two children, and basically from the time I was 20 to the time I was about 28, I was incarcerated. I was either just getting out, on my way back, or that's what I did. And to pass the time, I did drugs. And I saw no hope, you know what I mean? There was no, I had kids, I love my children, whether my actions showed it or not. I did care about my children. I thought about them all the time, but I got high and that would, erase the pain. But, nothing was good, and I was always that guy that was going to get better. You know what I mean? I was always that guy sitting in a prison cell going, well, dog, I'm going to get out this time. I'm going to do it different. You know what I mean? and believe me, I meant it too at the time. I was going to do it, And I was even that guy, praying on my way to trial, making empty promises. Lord, if you just please. And I wasn't even a Christian at the time. But I was aware of God and who he was because of how I was raised, because I was raised a Jehovah's Witness. So I had an upbringing, but, as you all know, that upbringing ended up working against me in the long run, because, clearly, Christ is God, Dr. Wilcox. And I know that now, but I didn't know that at the time, so now here I am, I'm growing up, you know what I mean? I come from better, or as a woman would see it, I come from better than what I should be. So I'm depressed about that. You know what I mean? It's not like I could even sit back there. Whether I'm high or not, whether you're high or not, when you're in the situation and you're getting arrested and you're on your way to jail, that you shouldn't be doing those things. And I was more than aware that I shouldn't be doing the things that I should be doing. And I had nothing to blame it on. So that's depressing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of sadness here. You know what I mean? It's not just, it's like, wow, So So my kids, see what, I lost my train of thought, and I was going to. Anyways, okay, so that was my life. Okay, well, enough about that. That was my life. We all get it. Okay, I was a recovering drug addict, prison. That was my life before. Now, this is how I got saved. I was looking at 6 years, and I was going to have to do 80% because I'm a two-striker. So I was going to have to do 80% of 6 years. My lawyer literally told me 2 minutes before I went to see the judge, sorry man, there's nothing I can do, they're going to throw the book at you. So I was like, well, good thing I'm not paying you because he was a public defender. So I go out there and I see the judge, And he, to much of the DA's surprise, gives me 1 year flat and keeps me where I'm at, which was up in Susanville. There, the pastor that led me to Christ, Ron Herman, is a Shasta Bible College graduate. They put me in the SHU, which is a special housing unit, so I was locked down 24/7. The only time I would get out was to go to argue with Ron Herman about God, because I knew just enough to know that Jesus Christ was not God, that God's name was Jehovah, and I was going to let him know. And besides, I had nothing else to do with my time. I was stuck in a room, right? So I went there and I looked high and low for a New World Translation, a copy of the New World Translation, the Bible, the fake Bible. Couldn't find it. So finally I broke down, and this is why I'm saying the Jehovah's Witnessing messed me up later on, right? Because I did not want to grab the other Bible, because to me that was satanic. That's what even though clearly I was not living any kind of a religious lifestyle, but I still would hold on to those beliefs, right? Or this Bible's not good. So finally I broke down, I got the Bible, I couldn't find any, so I grabbed the one and I came to John 1:1, and it said, and the word was God. So right then and there, not right then and there, I had to wait probably about 6 days before I went back to the Bible study. I went back, and on my way back, and this is how God works, I couldn't find a New World Translation. After I went back to that Bible study, having read John 1:1, I found, they were everywhere in there, New World Translations. So I grabbed it, and I went back in my cell, and I opened it up, and the word was a God. So, I'm not a Greek scholar, I'm not a Hebrew scholar, I'm still not, Dr. Brown's working on it, but I didn't know, I knew enough to know that somebody was lying, right? So I prayed, I worked on it, I had nothing but time to pray and read the Bible. I got out, I stayed at a homeless shelter, and I ended up hooking up with my brother Josh out there, and the Lord has just continued to work in my life. He's got me up to he put me in an SPC, and the school is a blessing. They have accepted me, even when truth be told, we've known each other for a while now. Even when at first they were probably like, "What are you doing, dude?" Real God's. But with open arms, they've accepted me. You know what I mean? Hands on the pocketbook, but we can play. But I'm here, and the transformation in my life is the one that such as people smile at me now. You know what I mean? I've got Dr. Nicholas, who asked me to help him around his house. You know what I mean? I've got Dr. Wilcox, who, awkward or not, tries to give me hugs every once in a while. And that stuff is cool, It's cool with me because that's the sign of what God has done in my life. And I'm happy to say that I haven't seen my son, my oldest son, in 10 years. And I have a 7-year-old and I have a 12-year-old. And I've seen both of them sparingly, but I haven't seen my oldest in 10 years. And I just recently had my first, where I had him, I see my sons now. We played, and this is probably going to seem funny to you, but this is another moment where I realized wow, God's in my life. Over Thanksgiving was the first time I had my sons, and we're on the basketball court playing football with me. It was me, my son, my nephew, so it was the 4 of us, right? Because I got 2 boys. And we're out there at 10 o'clock at night, and we're playing touch football, you know what I mean, on the full court basketball court at the park. And in the moment, I didn't really realize it because I'm super competitive, and I'm just meeting my son who's 12, and he's super competitive. And of course it's me and Isaiah, my 7-year-old, right, against Karsten and Dylan, who are 10 and 12. And they're just I'm not allowed to run, I can only throw the ball. And they're just manhandling Isaiah, right? You guys know Isaiah. And Isaiah was so funny because he was into it serious, you know what I mean? He's running his routes, and he's trying to and they're holding on to him. And I'm sitting there arguing with my, not arguing, but being competitive and stuff like that. And it was after that night when I was laying in bed, I was wow, man, I just had a moment, you know what I mean? And I never even know what those were, you know what I mean? And that's what God's doing in my life. Is my walk anything like perfection? No. You know what I mean? But if anything, I'm a good example of how to fall and get back up, is what I always say, because that's what's important. And like I said, my walk, I continue with my walk. Professors here at SBC, love you guys. Students, love you guys. And that's my testimony. Praise the Lord.